The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing?
Good, Sean. Good to be here with you talking high school sports. Dead week for all of our teams here around Southeast Georgia, but show goes on nonetheless.
Exactly, Kevin. You're exactly right. It is dead week. This is Memorial Day week. Memorial Day was this past Monday, and schools are closed. There's nobody doing any kind of sports activities this week. That's designated by GHSA. Now, next Monday, everybody's going to hit the ground running with all their summer programs. But this week, Kevin, we thought we'd go back and look at kind of like a year in review on all the state champion teams that we had here in the 912. And we had 12, believe it or not, over the course of the year. So a really, really big number. You and I were talking before we came on air. I think this is the largest number of team state championships we've had in the past. But I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe since we've been doing this since 2010 that this is the biggest number of team state championships we had. And we'll go all the way back to the fall of 22 because that was part of this school year, Kevin, and start off with AA softball. The AA softball champs were the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets, played in a tough AA region. When you think about Pierce, they weren't in the same region, but same classification. Pierce, Appleton County would, players like Presley Harrison, Vidalia, always good in girls softball. Some really, really stiff competition, but kind of out of nowhere, Jeff Davis comes up, wins the big brass ring, wins the state championship. I believe it was their first ever. Really a really good feel-good story there for girls softball.
Yeah, and I remember we had more than one team over there in that bracket from Southeast Georgia. So law of averages, you kind of thought we had a good chance. And, we've had some good softball in this area in years past, particularly in those lower classifications. Appleton County, of course, won a state championship just a year ago, and they were back in that same bracket, of course, with a good pitcher as well. But, Jeff Davis has been known to win sports on the diamond in the past. So not totally shocking that they won softball as well. But to touch on that, you mentioned the first. That's going to kind of be a prevailing theme as we go through some of these state champions. And I guess maybe that's one thing that stands out to me. They weren't just the only one to win a first. We'll have some more. And those first ones are sometimes the hardest to get, but always certainly exciting.
Exactly. But congratulations to the Jeff Davis Lady Yellow Jackets winning the AA softball state championship. We'll move on into football, Kevin. And you talked about first, and this one only took 58 years, folks. But the Ware County Gators won 5A for football. So congratulations to the Ware County Gators. You go back to 2 years ago, Kevin, everybody thought, Ware's got Thomas Castellano. They've got Cartavius Norton in the backfield. And they had this really, high-powered offense. And everybody really thought that might be Ware's year. Talking about the 2021 season, but Ware came up just a little bit short. And I tried to tell everybody at the beginning of this year that this could be Ware's year. Even though they lost Cartavius Norton and Thomas Castellano. Both of these guys are, Saturday football players here that Ware lost. But the core was back, the defense was back, and the Gators were able to go 14-0 and get it done and win that 5A state championship for football for the first time ever. And so congratulations to the Gators. But, what a phenomenal year they had.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could go back even further than, the last couple of years. Ware's had good coaches, good players. Just haven't, for whatever reason, been able to, rise to the mountaintop. That's not to say they haven't had plenty of good football seasons, and a lot of reasons to say that, many other years have been great. But they've certainly been on the cusp in recent years. And, maybe in the recent past we thought it would have happened before this year. But like you say, they graduated a couple of those big name guys that you mentioned, but still had a couple of big name guys, but really a good nucleus of guys and some guys that brought their lunch pails to work every day. And, those guys were team leaders and just had a good character about this team. I know the coaches talked about that and had some home run power on offense and just a real strong defense. And, they rode that tidal wave all the way to the state championship. And, it's easy to say now, but they weren't going to be denied.
Yeah, and that played some really good teams. I mean, played Benedictine and beat them. Benedictine won a state title. Bainbridge, I think, was in the Final Four. Played them and beat them. Played Warner Robins for the title, who is the 5-time defending, state champ. So Ware got it done, but playing some really, really good competition along the way.
Oh, yeah, no question. And obviously to kind of, get over the hump against Warner Robins. I mean, they had beaten them, of course, in the past. So you kind of felt like they had beat the team that you need to beat, but they ran into some buzzsaws, earlier in the playoffs, Cartersville, Calhoun. I mean, those teams are no joke as well. And so the playoff road hasn't necessarily been easy, even though, they've been at home. Of course, Buford as well. We know what they're all about. And so it hasn't been an easy task for Ware, but it just sort of all came together this year. And obviously, when you talk about first, this was a long time coming. And I think the Ware County fans certainly enjoyed it. And now the challenge is to kind of get hungry again and to want to do it again. And sometimes teams have trouble getting over that. Now, I don't really know that that's necessarily going to be a problem for Ware. You would kind of know how things are coming together already a little bit better for me. We'll see how they look in the summer and certainly how they look when they take the field there in early August. And they have to kind of shake the cobwebs loose a little bit. But something tells me come playoff time again, they'll be ready to chomp again down there in the swamp.
Yeah, Ware had a really good core coming back. They did get some shocking news this weekend that they're returning would be a senior quarterback Nico Smith is no longer going to be with the team. He's going to move back to Florida where he came from. So they're going to have to do it with some new bit players. But listen, they've got some really, really good defensive guys coming back. They got some really good offensive linemen coming back. They got 2 superstars at running back coming back, and they've got 4 or 5 receivers. Even though they lost Jarvis Hayes, they've got a really good core of receivers that may be better as a whole than what Jarvis was last year. So we'll see what Coach Strickland and those guys can put together over the summer and be ready. And like I said, go through that tough gauntlet again this year of good quality football teams and be ready come playoff time. So, but again, congratulations to the Ware County Gators. You're 5A state champions for football. But Kevin, that moves us right along. We're into 2023. That's all the championships we had in 2022. But the Clinch County Lady Panthers were able to get it done in Single A Division II, winning the girls state championship. Just a really, really great game. If you didn't get a chance to see it for the state championship game, played a really, really tough, I think it was a private school out of the Oconee area. I believe they were around from Lake Oconee. But like I said, just was able to get it done. Girls like Maya Grady and Tanyana Dorsey. I mean, these girls, Grady was our player of the year for small school basketball. Tanya Dorsey was our player of the month, our Coastal Pines player of the month. But again, Coach Chase Daniels, did an outstanding job and got Clinch County, again, Kevin, your theme, their first state championship there in girls basketball.
Well, much like Ware County, just obviously the football team, just obviously a different sport. This team has been knocking on the door, just couldn't walk through it. Several deep runs in the playoffs after great regular seasons and championships there, and just lost some heartbreakers deep in the playoffs in the past. And one thing they have to do, Sean, just sort of a side note, only so many kids to go around there at Clinch, and only so many coaches, and some of them coaches in other sports like basketball are involved with that real good Clinch County football team. So they sometimes, or not sometimes, they do start basketball season a little bit later than some of their other teams. So they're kind of putting the pieces together, a little later, which means, into December and on into January, maybe before they really start to gel. And then next thing they're into February and reading the schedules and playing a lot of games, more in a week than other teams would. And so they get a lot of basketball in, say from mid to late January all throughout February. So, kind of a challenge there from the scheduling standpoint. But, again, just a team that finally knocked the door down, some more good pieces to build around those 2 girls you mentioned there. And Coach Daniel did a real good job with this ball club, and they got it done. And again, good to see them, take advantage of that situation and finally get it done.
Yeah, and Kevin, don't be surprised if they're right back there again this year. They got a good core coming back as well, so would not be surprised at all if Clinch goes back to back, or at least makes a deep run here in 2023. Or I guess it would actually be 2024 because it'll be after the new year next year before that championship. But hey, that's 3 of our state champions. We got 12 to get to, so you guys stick around. But we'll be right back here with more after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Smoke. He's Kevin Price, and we're recapping the state champions from the 912 coverage area here for this school year of 2022 and 2023. We've already talked about softball, football, and girls basketball. Kevin, we're going to dive into winter sports now, and we'll start out with the ever-present, always winning state titles, Camden County Wildcats, as they win the 7A Duals Wrestling Championship. And I believe, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the 9th year in a row that they were able to win this duals championship. I know one's 9 and one's 8. I can't remember if it's traditional or duals, but I believe duals is the longest, 9. And Coach Jess Wilder just, year after year after year just keeps turning out great wrestling, great wrestlers down there. They win 3 or 4 individual state championships every year. They've won duals now for the last 9 years in a row. And his son this year, big part of the team. Ryder comes on board as a 9th grader, wins the state title as a freshman. Really just some really good, a good program down there. And really the class of the field, and everybody kind of got worried this year that, Camden might be up against it because they had to go to Buford, had to play in that big arena up there. But hey, it didn't phase the Wildcats, buddy. They just go on the road and get it done.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be the interesting thing about this wrestling season, both in the duals and the traditional, was the fact that Buford, a state power in a lot of sports, but wrestling included, was going to be up in 7A and might be the new kid on the block, but would be the team most likely to challenge Camden County. And, just didn't happen. Camden continued to roll along there. And if I remember correctly, maybe Camden was a little younger in spots, maybe a little bit, less experienced in certain spots than they have been. But again, when you have a program like they do, you just kind of fill in the gaps. So you don't really ever rebuild. You just kind of reload. And those kids are well coached, well drilled. They really just, kind of pick up the pieces and keep moving along. And, that's exactly what they did. And they met, all challengers, all comers, and walked away with, both the duals where they go head to head against other teams and traditionals where the wrestlers are on their own, but can win a state championship based on how they do in their respective brackets. And Camden ends up with the sweep again, so they're still the big dog in Georgia's largest class.
Yeah, and really the impressive thing is, Kevin, they go on the road to Buford, to their house, to get that done. And listen, we all know Buford is an intimidating place to play. I don't care if you're playing tiddlywinks or marbles. Those guys are out to win everything and every sport that they compete in. But Camden was able to get up there and get it done in their house.
Yeah, and I think Camden, they had heard the noise. They had prepared for that environment. I think they were kind of, aiming towards that all season. They knew, what was kind of, built in, some of the circumstances that they were going to be facing. And I think maybe whether the kids realized it or not, the coaches were kind of preparing them for that moment all season. I know Coach Wilder kind of touched on some of the things that maybe, when we talked to him about preparing for this meet or that particular meet, and then, winning both of the state championships. He didn't necessarily come out and say it, but you can kind of read between the lines that they were kind of building toward that moment and kind of preparing the kids for, maybe just that environment and being in that environment when maybe, the odds would be stacked against them even more with some circumstances that maybe were beyond their control, trying to fight against them, and just having them concentrate on, the normal things that you have to do to win a match and not pay attention to all those extracurriculars that can kind of get you, off stride, off balance, if you will. And obviously, it sounds like they handled those circumstances just fine.
Yeah, just shut down that outside noise. So congratulations to the Camden County Wildcats for winning in the 7A Duals Wrestling Championship and also winning the 7A Traditional Wrestling Championship. So congratulations to the Wildcats again. I think it was 9 in a row for duals, 8 in a row for the traditional. So just a phenomenal job there. That's definitely the benchmark for wrestling here in the state of Georgia for sure. But Kevin, another classification that we're all too familiar with, 6A. We've had Brunswick, Glenn, all these guys have competed for state championships here in the last several years. And lo and behold, kind of out of nowhere, South Effingham, the Mustangs sneak up and win this year's 6A state title. Listen, we knew they were good. We knew they had some quality wrestlers. But this one kind of came out of left field. But congratulations to the Mustangs for going up there and making and getting it done. Yeah,
they won the duals, in the area, in the 6A area that we cover. And then, Brunswick was a real good team too and didn't make it out of the sectional competition, lost to, a good team, I think North Forsyth, that ended up, if I'm not mistaken, they finished second or third there at state. And then, of course, Glenn, made a run at it too, I think making it to the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken, and finishing, fourth. So, we're familiar with having good wrestling in this area that had South Effingham well prepared to, advance out of the sectional competition and then, go up there at state and get the job done. And this was another team that won their first state championship. So, South Effingham's had a solid program. They've been, against some good other programs in this area and, went up there, at the state level and got it done this year.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to the South Effingham Mustangs, the 6A duals wrestling champions. So congratulations there to the guys over in Guyton. I believe that's right. Right. Effingham, Springfield, South Effingham, Guyton.
That's right.
I get those mixed up every now and then, but that leads us to wrestling. Kevin, if anybody follows to rivalry, if anybody follows rivalry here in Southeast Georgia, they probably know about the Ware County Gators. I believe they won 4 state championships there for rivalry, but there's a newcomer on the block, and that's Camden County, and they come out this year and get it done. Everybody kind of thought that Camden was in position to win it last year. They didn't get it done. Ware takes another one, but coming back here in 2023, it was all Camden County and all Wildcats as they break the state record, Kevin, and set the highest score ever shot in a championship match. So not only do they win the state championship, but they do it with style.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this is a team that's, been right there. Good regular seasons, good runs in state and, battled Ware tooth and nail and just weren't able to get over the hump. But, this year they had, a real good solid core. And, they not only, kicked the door in, they kicked it down with some force and, did it in style, like you say, not only winning the state title, but doing it with that record-breaking score. And if I remember right, they had, several of the top individual shooters, in the individual standings, and that's how you get it done. They have some consistency throughout the lineup. And, when you have that going for you, posting 4 or 5 of the best scores in the whole competition, when you add them up, you're going to have the best team score. And they ended up with not only the best team score that day, but a record score to boot.
Exactly, and you got a chance to do a story on DeJesus. She's the junior shooter there, who basically led every category all year long, whether it was prone or whether it was standing or kneeling or whatever. I mean, she pretty much led all of Georgia the whole year through, and she's actually our scholar athlete in our latest edition of 912 Sports. So, talk a little bit about her and what you learned in that article, Kevin.
Yeah, just an impressive kid. And I mean, she's physically gifted. She's small, but, it takes a lot of, physical stamina and different things like that to, to get in there and concentrate from, round to round and position to position, and takes a lot of mental fortitude as well. And I know, her coach talking about her, she's not one to dwell on the last shot. If she misses, so to speak, she just comes back and fires one again, and is usually right on target. And she's not one to let one bad shot affect the next 3 or 4. And so she's just well-rounded, good in every one of those positions they compete in. Outside of the school competition, she competes individually at a high level in national competitions and international competitions. And I think she used to be involved in gymnastics and martial arts, and in a roundabout way, those things kind of helped her out in what she's doing now. And she gave this a try and just kind of fell in love with it. But, so she's just, taking it to another level and is real serious about it. But she's also, a kid that even though she competes at a high level, if there's a new kid at the Camden team, kind of starting out just like she was, she'll take time with them and, try to help them to develop. And if they're serious, she'll take even more time with them. So she's a good teammate from that standpoint. She does good in school, yes or no sir kind of kid. So just a well-rounded, good kid, kind of a coach's dream, if you will. So I guess she will be a senior next year. There is, chances in this sport at the next level, as you know, Sean. And, of course, there's international in national competition, outside of, college competition. So I don't know, she told me she doesn't have really, Olympic dreams or anything like that. She's career oriented. I think wants to go into the medical field, if I remember correctly. So, her deal might end in college somewhere, but just a kid that seems to have, an agenda and her an idea, a goal, a plan, and just kind of everything, falling into place for her already. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where she goes and what she does, particularly next year at Camden and then just beyond.
Yeah, I think she's got some unfinished business because I think this is a team, Kevin, that can be right back there again next year. And her also as an individual will have a good shot at winning that individual title next year. So congratulations to the Camden County Wildcats for winning the 2023 Rifle Championship. Hey, but we got a few more to go, but we're going to take a quick break. So stick around. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Smoke. He's Kevin Price, and we're finishing up with the 2022-2023 year in review here. And we're talking about our team state champs from here in the 912. And we're going to move right along. And right now we're into spring, and we're going to talk about the girls tennis champions, AA. Kevin, we had a pretty good shot of having a team. We knew we was going to have a team play for our state title, but we knew, we knew we had a pretty good shot of somebody winning it. Because basically what you had going into the Final Four is you had Brantley playing Jeff Davis and you had Pierce playing Berrien. So we knew from one side of that bracket we were going to get a 9-1-2 team in. Berrien wound up beating Pierce on the right-hand side of the bracket, and Jeff Davis was able to get it done over Brantley on the left-hand side of the bracket. And then Jeff Davis was able to get it done. Again, Kevin, girls sports, first time ever, but they go on to win the AA state tennis championship there. Just a fantastic year for girls sports there over in Hazelhurst, winning the softball earlier in the year and then coming back and winning this tennis championship. But when you got 3 out of the 4 going into the Final Four, you feel pretty good about your odds.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that's a good showing there by all the Southeast Georgia schools to make it 3 out of the 4, and pretty good odds for you there to do that. But obviously great for Jeff Davis to get that first one. I don't know, whether this was halfway expected or if they had been building toward it or not. But to win that softball championship in the fall and then come back and win, tennis to kind of bookend the year. With a fall championship and then a spring championship is pretty good stuff. So for them to get that done and, represent Southeast Georgia over there and be one of the Southeast Georgia teams over there to actually get it done is a good thing.
Yeah, close one, 3-2. So really was nip and tuck that whole time there with Berrien. Another South Georgia team, just not part of our 912 coverage area. But congratulations to the Jeff Davis Lady Yellow Jackets on winning the 2A Girls State Tennis Championship. And then that moves us right along into baseball. Kevin, these games just happened early last week. But the Charlton County Indians, I believe for the 3rd time, are now state champions. They were not. This was not their first. Coach Thad Marchman been there, I think, going on 10, 12, 13 years, something like that. This was their third state championship, but they were able to get it done over in Georgia Southern. Played a very, very good team. And help me out, Kevin, who did they play?
ECI.
ECI, that's right. I think that's, what is it, Emmanuel
County Institute.
Yeah, Institute. I knew the I stood for something, but Emmanuel County Institute. And but the Indians were able to go, over there to Georgia Southern and get it done. Took 3 games, but went into the third game, Kevin, with our MVP back on our baseball edition. Ian Vickers on the mound, and he was basically lights out. Got in a little bit of trouble in the first inning where he had runners at first and third with only 1 out, but was able to pitch his way out of it. But again, just an impressive year there for the Charlton County Indians. And we knew going in that this was going to be, maybe their year to win another state title.
Yeah, Charlton won the first game of that series. ECI won the second, and Charlton won the third. And Sean, I believe this was the actual last GHSA champion crowned in this school year. This was the last official GHSA event out there to be played to round out the 22-23 school year. So that's just a little nugget that maybe doesn't mean all that much. But a Southeast Georgia team, one of our 912 area teams, did win the very last state championship there was to be won. And obviously they did play another South Georgia school anyway in ECI, and they actually were going for their first state championship. So kind of tough pill to swallow there, but good for Charlton County to get it done. They ran into a tough Metter squad, I guess it was last year that got it done with similar circumstances. Real good pitching on their part. Charlton had good pitching last year. Well, this year Charlton had those stud pitchers, and they rode those guys all the way, to the finish line. And I think along the way that they developed some offense, some firepower that they had lost from the year before, started swinging the bat better, I think, in the second half of the season, to go with that good pitching. And, again, I think they were ranked number 1 or somewhere in the top 3 most of the season. I think they had lost to, some upper, higher classification teams that, really didn't hurt them in the rankings per se. But we knew that they had a chance to make a deep run and possibly win it. And certainly they got it done. And again, great team effort. Again, they found some offense, but no question their pitching, I think, was the key to the whole deal.
Yeah, Geiger goes a complete game 1, only gives up 1 run. Ian Vickers goes a complete game 3, only gives up 0 runs. So those are pretty good stat lines. When your 2 senior guys, between the 2 of them, only give up 1 run, you got to like your chances on those 2 games. So
yeah, no question.
So congratulations to the Charlton County Indians, Single A Division II baseball state champs. And that moves us into golf, Kevin. And golf might have been our best sport this year. Kind of out of the blue here, we have 3 state champions. We'll start off with Double A, and the Double A girls, the Pierce County Lady Bears, come away with back-to-back state champions. They won last year, win it again this year. And, oh, by the way, Kevin, they get to do it on their home course at Okefenokee Country Club this year. So congratulations to the Lady Bears there. And, Kevin, this was a game, and you and I kind of talked about this, that originally was supposed to be a round of 36 holes. Was just a torrential downpour. I'm still trying to figure out how they played 18 holes on that Monday that they played 18 holes. But the GHSA, before this round ever started, the decision was made that they were only going to play 18 holes for the championship. So they made the call before the girls ever went out on the course. It was an 18-hole championship, but the Lady Bears get it done, and Mackenzie Connell, the individual AA state champion, leads your Lady Bears to back-to-back state championships.
Well, obviously that worked out for Pierce. I mean, it would have been a tough pill to swallow had, they not fired the best round there over 18 holes, had they maybe been a couple of strokes short there on the scoreboard. And, obviously a lot of times the cream rises to the top, Sean, the longer you go, whether it's 36 holes, 54 holes, or 72 holes. It works that way in individual golf a lot of times, and certainly in team golf as well. And that very well could have been the case had they played, 36 holes here. But obviously Pierce had to be on his game there in 18 holes to get it done. They knew that going in, and, they gave it their best effort there on 18 holes and did get it done. And it was good to see the Cannell kid come through. She was our player of the year in golf, so she justified that. And so she backed that up. And you're right, we're going to talk about it some more, so I'll hold off just on golf in general just a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to get to the individual state championships on a later show, probably next week. Congratulations to Mackenzie on doing that. But congratulations to the Lady Bears. They are the 2A girls golf state champions, winning that state championship there on their home course there at Okefenokee. But Kevin, 2 matches that you were able to be a part of and get to witness firsthand. We'll start off with the 6A girls golf. The champions there are the Glen Academy Red Terrors, and the girls get it done. Kevin, I think this is the second championship in as many years. Did they go back to back?
Yeah, they went back to back. Yeah.
Okay, so they go back to back once again, and just really get it done right there on Jekyll Island. But like I said, you were there. Tell us a little bit about what you saw at that event.
Well, the Glen girls were, one of the favorites, if not the favorite. Going into the tournament. And, the interesting thing about that, they won by a double-digit margin last year and won by an even wider margin this year. Had the lead after Monday night's first 18 holes and then extended that lead over the second 18 on Tuesday of last week. And maybe we didn't have the weather that you guys had over there in the Okefenokee area, but it certainly wasn't exactly great golfing weather. I mean, it did rain last Monday and Tuesday. It was windy as well, so the conditions weren't exactly great. But from that standpoint, fair for everybody. Everybody played under the same conditions, and Glen, probably had the deepest team, the best team, and dealt with the conditions better than anybody else. I guess maybe the key for this Glen team winning this one, Chanley Box, who was actually our 912 Sports Large School Player of the Year, who's headed off to play college golf, messed up her hand. She tore some ligaments in one of her hands, which made it painful for her to swing the last couple of weeks. So she really had to gut it out. I think she shot around in the mid-80s that had to count for Glen in the first round, and she came back and shot even better in the second round, shot in the upper 70s. But she's usually somebody that can be around par. So she was still several strokes above where she usually is. But Emma Hill, one of their sophomores, fired a couple of rounds around par and ended up second overall in the tournament. They had some other ladies contribute in each of the rounds. So it really was a total team effort by Glen Academy. And they needed some girls to step up with Chanley, knowing that she wasn't going to be at her best, but still she had to gut it out as well and just find a way to post the best possible score she could. And she certainly did that on day 2. So she shows some character as well. But, Glen gets it done. That was their second in a row, and I think 10th overall. And it's the second or third time overall that they've repeated. They once won 4 in a row. So Glen's, certainly been a long time state power in girls and guys golf, and we're about to talk about the Glen boys here now.
Exactly. Well, congratulations to the 6A Glen Academy Red Terrors girls for winning the 6A golf championship there. And you're exactly right, Kevin. Glen goes the double here. They also win in boys for 6A. They get it done. For people that don't know, Jekyll Island has one golf facility with 2 different courses, and I guess the girls were on boys. Now, did they switch courses, Kevin, or did you play the same course on both days?
They played the same course. The girls played Indian Mound. The boys played Pine Lakes. There's actually a third one, Oleander. Then there's the Old 9, Great Dunes. So there's actually, 3 18-hole facilities, and then the Old 9 over there on Jekyll. Yeah.
Exactly. But congratulations to the boys. They get it done. This is the first time that they won both boys and girls since 2011. But the boys, get it done over there on Jekyll Island.
Yeah, and it's actually the first time the Glen boys had won since 2011. So a little bit of a drought for them. I mean, year in and year out there for a long time, Glen had one of the better teams, in the higher classifications. Of course, as GHSA's changed, Glen's gone up in classifications. There was, back in the day, it was 4A, then 5A, then 6A. And in recent years, Johns Creek is a team that has just been loaded for bear. They've had 4 or 5 D1 players going to, schools like Georgia and Georgia Tech, and not that Glenn hasn't had good players, but when you got a lineup like that, you should win state championships, and Johns Creek did. But Glenn has some seniors that have been playing golf for a long time as juniors, and had a couple of good young players as well. So out of the last 3 or 4 years, this was probably their best shot at it. Maybe had underperformed a lot of the year, just hadn't put a good team score together. One of their best players, Grady Sanders, had been hurt in an automobile accident. And so he finally had come back, late in the year, and was sort of getting his game together. So his presence helped. And, just coming down the stretch here, they finally put it all together, started putting better as a team. And I think really they just rose to the occasion, Sean. These seniors knew this was it. Of course, they could have mailed it in and realized, hey, we're graduating. We got a lot of things going on, but they laid it on the line there in the 2 days of the state tournament and got it done. So it was good to see. It was the first state championship for head coach Mike Zito as well. And so he'll add his name to the list of coaches at Glenn that have won state championships. So good to see, this senior-laden team put it together there at the big moment, the final moment for them.
Exactly, Kevin. And the good thing is they got to do it right there in front of friends and family with that championship being right there on Jekyll, right there in Glenn's backyard. So congratulations to the boys golf champion, the Glenn Academy Red Terrors. But, Kevin, that's going to wrap it up for today. 12 state champions of the 2022-2023 school year. So congratulations to them all. But that's going to do it for us. Check us out next week as we'll probably be talking about individual state champions. We had a ton of those guys as well. So we'll go back and take a year in review and look at the individual champs from 22 and 23. But appreciate everybody watching. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.